Hi, welcome. This video is going to be about the new American sanctions on Syria and why at this moment what the US intends to do with the perspective of, or from the perspective of a Turkish man like me, I just want to talk about. And I will wait for a couple of minutes more in order to be on time, starting this live video. Meanwhile, I hope my voice is okay. My vision on the screen is okay. If there is a problem, please let me know. Right. So it's now 11:30 according to Turkey, and I'm going to start with my live video, which is going to be about the new US sanctions on Syria, how it's going to hurt the Syrian economy or administration, what US intends or the US Congress intends to do or achieve, and how it might possibly affect the Turkish foreign policy and even the security. So now on Wednesday, 2 days ago, or yeah, 1.5 days ago, let's say, the Congress has approved to apply the sanctions on Syria. This is called Caesar sanctions. Why? Because there is also a story behind that. There was a police defector with the code name Caesar, and he has supported almost 55,000 photos to US Congress, and he has obtained asylum due to that reason. And in order to protect him, they have given him a name of Caesar, and on his behalf, they have passed this Caesar bill in order to put, or let's say, I would say, tighten the sanctions that have already been in place. This sanction is a little bit different from the others. And as I said, I use the word tighten because this sanctions really aims on President Bashar al-Assad's family and the businessmen around him. Who are they? Surprisingly, it starts with his wife, Asma, and then his brother, also the head of the infamous 4th Division of the Syrian Arab Army, his brother Mahir al-Assad, and then his sister Bushra al-Assad, and the family friend, which is also a prominent Hashmo family. Hashmo family is very famous in Syria. They are doing various businesses connected with the government. And this act, which we called the Caesar Act, has already passed in December, but now they have started to apply this. It aims to force the government to stop the bombardment carried out during the civil war within Syria. So what they intend to do is say, once you are going to let the international aid organizations to go and help all the people around, when you are going to stop all this bombardment, and you are going to increase the humanitarian aid assistance, and you are going to release all these political arrests or political prisoners, and facilitate the safe return of those displaced and held accountable for all war criminals, we are going to go away with these sanctions. Basically, it means just surrender. And of course, al-Assad will not do that. So we have to look at more in this act. The act really concentrates on any and every business around the al-Assad family, including Russia and Iran. Why? Because it also says that individuals, groups, and or states who supplies or supports Syria with the military equipment. Now that includes or directly threats Russia and Iran. And also the US Congress calls the US Treasury to have a close look on the Syrian National Bank if they are really supporting these kind of actions. Of course they do. So they are. It means that they are really serious about to, I will say, increase their sanctions with more tightened criteria. Now, how does it going to affect Syria? Because we have already seen all these sanctions ongoing. As I said, it is a little bit different because at this moment there are a lot of things going against Syria. First of all, there's a crisis in Lebanon. Why? Lebanon is important because Lebanon is basically the gateway to Syria from the south part of the country. And Lebanon has been also supporting Syria. And because there is a financial crisis in Lebanon, a really important financial supporter is cut. That's why in the latest or previous months, we have seen the Syrian pound that have been devalued greatly. In the national bank, the $1 is equal to 1,200, 250 Syrian pound, whereas we can see in the black market, 3,000 Syrian pounds. This already tells that the government cannot control the streets or the economy. Second, Russia. Russia is really troubled with the sanctions already placed due to the Ukraine and also Corona. The numbers are big, and they have, yesterday I have seen something like 7,800-ish for the first time after some months. Hopefully it will go down. But we are also reading that even the parameters around President Putin have been really tightened so that there will be no infection will be passed or will be happening to him. So he will not be infected, which means that really he is now getting distance from the politics and other things. But moreover that, we are looking at the Russian economy. The Russian economy is now being really affected, not only because of COVID, but also the sanctions. And with these two combinations, where the oil and the gas prices are almost 30, I mean, the oil price is almost 30, 35, it will not increase for a long time. Everybody is agreed on that. We will see the Russian influence in the Middle East and also in Syria will be diminishing. As a sign, yesterday, 17th of June 2020, the Russian Foreign Minister, Lazarov, has openly asked the US to intervene to help to mediate a peace between Haftar forces and Shafar forces. Why? Because Russia cannot now really prolong this conflict within Libya because they can't support this forever. They know it. Their economy cannot support this. This is a great sign. Why? Because we can now be sure almost that Russia economy is really weakening, which Russia it's enforced Russia to make some choices, such as either they will really concentrate on Ukraine or they will really disperse all their concentrations on Ukraine, Syria, and Libya, which, of course, for Russians, Ukraine has much more weight than Syria plus Libya. And therefore, it is the right time that for the US Congress to tighten all these measures against Syria. And so for the Caesar Act has been in place right now. Well, there is another thing about also the gas. There's a household gas that Syria has been procuring from the market. These acts also is going to really diminish the amount of the gas that the Syrian government can buy. With the devaluation of the Syrian pound, this is going to affect the logistics of the gas, which is going to create a lot of unrest among the people. And also US bets on that too. That's also important. One of the things also important is on Iran. When there is a financial crisis in Lebanon, and all the things are really going against Syria, the good transfer from the Mediterranean Sea, from Lebanon on Syria and then Iraq to Iran, is going to be really disturbed a lot, which means that this is also against Iran. So with one act, US has achieved to disturb a lot of states which are, I will say, Syria as a major, and then Russia and Iran. For Turkey, it opens great risks, including some opportunities. Now, the risk is this. Think about these acts is going to harm the main core of the apple. And your country is like on the cell of the apple. So what is going to happen is this. When it goes from the main core to the outer sphere, this becomes the border of the country with the other the borders of the countries. And when it starts getting really decomposed, you lose your as an apple or as a country. It means that you are losing your control along the borders. Which here we have a problem because Turkey has been fighting with the PKK, the YPG terrorists for a long time, including the ISIS. That might give rise to these terrorist groups to be allocated along the Turkish border. Therefore, Turkey will be enforced to even go deeper. I believe there's an M4 road from the Turkish border to M4 road is like 15 to 20 kilometers. I think Turkey should go even much more southern of that in order to secure the land, so that the amount of people which might be affected due to this economic I would say pressure should not really immigrate to Turkey and should be kept within this land, where the Turkey can, with its own maybe resources, as much as possible, create or set up an economy, even by using the Turkish liras. In some places, it has been already started to use. So the economy can be integrated with the Turkish market. At least the people living in that area, their needs can be supplied. If so, that might be the right approach for the Turkish state to do in future, which we do expect somehow that Turkey is going to increase its influence. That's like, we are really confident about that. And maybe in future or near future, depending on the situation among the people or public and the economy, and if the terrorist groups will be really find some resources to strengthen their abilities, then Turkey would be forced to go even southern part of M4 with like 20 to 30 even kilometers. And the opportune sides come along this, because once Turkey will be doing this, at least the amount of the people we are talking here, maybe a couple of 100,000 to 1, 2, or 3 million, again, they can be kept within the Syrian border. Their resources or needs can be really, I will say, met. And through the integration with the Turkish market, there will be an ongoing settlement, and development can also give a rise, which is good for the at least that part of the country, which I will say the northern part of the country, to start all these development programs so that the country can really recover itself much more quicker than expected. That I will think Turkey has already started doing such things, but I believe in future, if the economic situation gets worse in Syria, that will be even intensified. If you have any questions, you can type, or just I will cut it. And meanwhile, if you get subscribed to our channel, please press the subscribe channel. There's a like button there. Please press on it. And there's a bell button also. You can click on it so you can get the first videos once we supply one. Thank you for watching, and be safe. If you have any questions, please write me later on. I will reply personally. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.